Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play That's Pretty Clever Kids. It's ages 5 and up, 2 to 4 players, and takes 15 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to get the most stars, and you get stars by rolling dice and selecting items that match, that have the same background color, marking them down, and then along the way, if a spot has a star on it, or if you cross off a row or column and there's a star at the bottom, then you earn those stars. The game gives you some pencils to mark things off in the box, but we found that's really hard to see and they don't have erasers on them, so an erasable pen is probably your best bet, especially if you're playing this with a kid. They're going to make some mistakes along the way. You get to pick whoever you want to be the starting player. We usually pick the youngest player, and here we have a 2-player game set up. Everyone just has their own blank sheet to start. The starting player, the active player, gets to roll the dice. And what you do on your turn is you pick a background color of items, and that's what you get to mark off. So we'll say this was the start player, this was the youngest player, and they're going to pick blue here. And there are different rules to marking things off in each section, but it's pretty simple. For yellow, you have to mark from left to right, and you can't skip any. So they can't pick these this time because these balloons are further along and you have to mark the heart first. For candles, you mark from left to right, and there are some double candles along the way, so you have to watch out for that. You have to have more dice for that, and there's even a triple candle to end. For the green section, you get to mark off anywhere you want in here, but you get bonuses if you mark off an entire column or row. And then finally, the blue section, you have to have their double items pictured, so you have to have a pair in order to mark something off here. So we're gonna say this person is picking the blue, and they only have 1 cupcake, so they can't mark that, but they have 2 donuts, so they can mark that off. And then you see how that is circled in red? That means that you get a red bonus, and immediately you must mark off 1 spot in red, and that's their turn. Now, all the non-active players, and it doesn't matter if you have up to 4 people playing, none of them get to use the dice that the active player used. They get to use whatever the leftover dice were. And sometimes it's like this, and you can't do anything. So that's just it. The turn's over, it goes to the next player. A lot of times it's something like, here, we'll set it up a little nicer for them. It can be something like this. And if you're playing 4-player, all other 3 players could choose the same one to mark on their sheet. That's allowed. Or they can pick whichever one works best for them. We'll say that this is what happened, and the non-active player is going to pick this one to mark off. And then you just pass the dice clockwise. It's the next person's turn to roll. And oh, they were very lucky. Sometimes you get wilds, which is very exciting, and they can go with whatever you want them to. So, okay, I'm gonna show how this would work out. They're going to pick these ones, and that means they have to use the wilds as the same background color, so they have to be candles. So they get to mark this counts for, or we'll have this one count for this candle, this next wild counts for this candle, and this wild can't mark this spot because you have to have 2 candles, and this just symbolizes 1 item. So that would be it for them. And then the other player wouldn't get to mark anything because nothing came up that they were able to use. They needed to have 2 donuts, and this isn't the right balloon. They would have had to get something else that would let them mark it. So that's the entire game. You just keep on going until someone has closed out all of the items for one of the 4 colors. This is what an end game might look like. This was my 5-year-old daughter's game. We played together yesterday, and she marked off all of the balloons, and that's what ended the game for us. And then at that point, you just can go along each color and count the number of stars that have been marked off. And for all these, it's pretty clear if there's an X on the spot, you have the star, and then just remember in the green, if you've crossed out something for a row or column, then you get, if there's a star at the end, you get to count that. And she got 8, and I'm pretty sure she was the winner of this game. So that's how to play That's Pretty Clever Kids. The target demographic for this game is elementary age kids, but by the time you're a middle schooler, I think you could still play this and not feel like you've aged out the strategy necessarily, especially if you're playing it as a family game night and there is an elementary school kid there. It's just fun. It's a party. Who doesn't like a party theme? The rule complexity is low, but having played all of the That's Pretty Clever standard games, this feels in line with the type of gameplay you have in those games, which is really impressive that they were able to accomplish, but in a streamlined, kid-friendly manner for this game. How competitive is this game? It's medium. You're competing against each other. Whoever's the most stars, there's only one winner, although it's a little bit too bad that ties are just a tie. There is no tiebreaker. But the game's so fast, you just play another game if that happens. And I really like that there isn't really any sabotage in this game. Usually it's pretty clear, okay, what is best for me? And so it feels like it's you against lucky dice rolls or using your dice rolls well rather than doing things to get the people that you're playing against, which is what makes kids upset when they're playing games together. The replay value is high. Kids love rolling dice, and we've been playing this a little while, and mostly I'm concerned about running out of sheets right now at the rate we're going through this, which is the right problem to have. We might just have to laminate a few, and that's okay. Similar games, if you like this one, a nice segue between this and either going up to the That's Pretty Clever games. Those are ages 14 and up on the box. And really, in order to do well at the strategy required at those games, you're going to have to be close to that age. Quicks has a lot of the same feel of how you go about marking dice on a row and is very family friendly. And then also Super Mega Lucky Box is like strategic bingo and has some like bonuses that you get in this game, but it's just up another level. Very family friendly, very fun. But it's cute. I love That's Pretty Clever Kids. I've been enjoying playing it with my kids, and you should check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.